citrine. We're going to cover what citrine actually is, where it's found, different color variations based on locality, and how to tell real citrine from fakes like heat-treated amethyst and lemon quartz. Then we'll move into talking about how citrine is classified by the Geological Institute of America and why its definition in the gemstone world differs from the collector perspective in the crystal world. Finally, we'll explore citrine's metaphysical properties and help people use it for energy work because here at Bella Luna, you know, we cover the science and we cover the woo. So if you've ever wondered whether your citrine is real or how to use it, this video is for you, so stick around. If you are new here, I'm Bella from Bella Luna Crystals, and this is That Crystal Show. If you like learning about crystals and rocks, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more free crystal content. At That Crystal Show, we got the science covered and we got the woo covered. Now let's talk about citrine. Citrine is a variety of quartz that has a yellow, orange to a golden color hue. Unlike amethyst, which is purple due to iron interacting with the natural radiation, citrine, the theory behind how it gets its color is a bit debated. There are two main theories I'll be discussing with you, but essentially we're looking at traces of iron within the crystal, so I'll elaborate a bit more. Natural citrine is actually quite rare, and because of that, what you see on the market is typically heat-treated amethyst being sold under a trade name of citrine. Drives me nuts, but that's why I'm making this video. You'll know that. You'll know how to spot real citrine. While there are two primary theories about how citrine turns yellow, one of the arguments that people make for heat-treated amethyst turning golden and that actually being citrine is that that's just a man-made process of what naturally happens in the earth. And while that would go along with potentially one of the theories, it's important to note that these are just theories. We don't know with 100% certainty how all citrine gets its color, and in fact, a study to do that would be quite difficult. So please keep that in mind that scientists have identified two main theoretical processes responsible for citrine's natural formation and color. So let me break them down. I'm gonna get a little sciencey on you. So if that's not your jam, you can skip ahead to the metaphysical part, but I hope you'll enjoy listening to this. So the first process we have is that there is a theory that there's a gradual heating and oxidation of iron within the quartz. So natural citrine starts with iron, specifically ferric iron, that gets incorporated into the quartz structure as it forms under the ground. Well, over time, heat and pressure slowly oxidize the iron, shifting it from the ferrous iron to ferric. I'll spell them here for you. And the oxidation process is what produces citrine's yellow to golden hues. This process with this series, this theory one, occurs in geothermal environments like most quartz, where temperatures stay really consistent for a long period of time, allowing this transformation to take place gradually. This is a long, we're talking lots of years, friends, okay? Natural radiation exposure in the earth is the second theory, and this is the most commonly kind of spread around theory, which suggests that citrine specimens develop their color due to natural radiation exposure in the earth. This process is similar to how amethyst forms, where iron impurities interact with these natural levels of radiation. In some cases, amethyst and smoky quartz, they believe, can transition into citrine through a combination of heat and radiation, which is going to alter the oxidation state of the iron within the quartz. Natural specimens are actually still quite rare in comparison to the abundance of heat-treated amethyst on the market. And again, I'll say it again, these are theories, friends. There are no facts. People have tried to argue with me on this. I have a master's of science. I know how to read scientific research, and they've sent me journal articles that like don't make sense. They're like, this is a journal article. I'm like, I know how to read journal articles, and you're reading the journal on. So that's just what it is. It's what it is right now. If you're a geologist and you've got new research, please share it with me. I have access to a whole research database. I do work at a college, so I can access a lot of journals. But that's what we know right now. Where is citrine found? So citrine is found all over the world in a variety of locations, but Brazilian citrine is where we procure the largest amount of citrine. And on the crystal and mineral market, this is where we pretty much get our citrine from. This is the main source, if we can find it. definitely not easy to find. The other sources we might get it from might be Madagascar, Zambia, and other areas of the southern Africa. You can find citrine there. That'll hit the mineral market. You can find Russian citrine. It's not as common. It's definitely more niche collector status. You're not going to see that like carved. It's usually going to be people are purchasing the individual crystal. You can also find citrine here in the US. And again, it's not the grading that you're going to see with like the African specimens or with the Brazilian specimens. So it's typically not sold on the general mineral market, but a lot of rock hounds do enjoy searching for it across the US. And within these localities, different color formations can form. So, for example, Brazilian tends to have that warm honey golden color we associate with citrine. You can, of course, find higher grades that are more orange, but that's very, very rare. If you see someone selling an abundance of like high grade gem cut citrine and they do not work in the gem industry, I would definitely be a little suspicious of that. The African citrine and Madagascar citrine, we do see that can sometimes have a little bit of a smoky tint to it, but it can also be very pale. I've gotten what often is called Kundalini citrine, has beautiful clarity, really lovely formation. Russian citrine is also something that is very prized by collectors, but you are not going to usually see this with a lot of crystal shops. They're usually not going to have Russian citrine. It's more rare. Now, this can have a more yellow-green coloration to it, and I'm showing you this image from MindDat, which I absolutely recommend you check out MindDat, so you can see the color. What's interesting about Russian citrine, and we'll talk about this when we talk more about fakes, this is the color people try to fake the most, which I think is interesting because they try to fake this color and sell it as Brazilian citrine, when Brazilian citrine is not this color, one, and two, it's literally the most rare, one of the more rare, not most rare, but more rare formations of citrine, and they don't carve it into whole spheres and towers. It's usually you are purchasing the rough specimen because they are so rare. So each location produces citrine with slightly different color tones and inclusions, which can kind of help you identify where it's from. You know, like when I'm looking at this specimen here on the screen, I'm going to know immediately this is from Africa. This is African citrine. I can tell by the color. I can tell by the shape. Jumps right out at me. This here, I can tell you exactly where this is from. This is Brazilian citrine, and I can tell again by the color and the clarity and what I am seeing of the specimens. Let's get into the common fakes and deceptive crystals often sold as citrine so you can make an informed choice when you are shopping for citrine. Because citrine's one of my favorite minerals. I have done so many deep dives on this. I've read geology books, scoured the interwebs for all the imagery that I'm going to show you today so that you can make a really good informed decision for yourself. The main fakes that I see with citrine, number one is heat-treated amethyst. This gets sold as citrine everywhere, and I honestly think a lot of crystal sellers don't even realize it. So when normal people, I guess, non-neurospicy people, start a small business, they like this, like a sales business, they go to a wholesaler. The wholesaler says, this is citrine, and they purchase the citrine. It's really heat-treated amethyst. And then they go and they sell it as citrine, and that's it. They're like, cool, we're good. Nope, not me. I'm like, that doesn't look right. I'm gonna go deep dive on this and I'm gonna research it. And this was many years ago. Lo and behold, I found out that that was not citrine, probably like 15, 20 years ago. And I figured out what real citrine looked like, did the research, and to this day, I pride myself on selling real citrine or making sure that I disclose to my customers if it is heat-treated amethyst. I think there's a place for everything. So this is the most common fake. This is actually amethyst, which if you look at this growth pattern, you can see when we put this side by amethyst, it looks very familiar. And that is because this yellow orangish friend here is just this purple friend who has been heated and had its color altered. Once heated, these specimens are actually more fragile. They can be sold in points like this in addition to the clusters. And usually they are sold much cheaper than natural citrine, thankfully. Most people don't sell it at natural citrine prices, so I'll give them that. Some of the red flags here you're seeing is the orangey color and this really white base, and also citrine in general, with the exception of some African specimens, which look nothing like this, does not form in clusters. So really what we want to look for in natural citrine is not this orangish color, okay? This is the most common fake number one I see, and I think it's deceptive. It's technically real in the sense that it's a real quartz, but it's fake in that it didn't start out as natural citrine. It started out as amethyst, and that is the key here, okay? A lot of people argue with this one. They're like, well, one of the theories is that it started out as amethyst citrine, and so this must mean we're just speeding up the process. Sure, but it's not natural. That is a human intervention. So in my opinion, that's different. And I don't consider it citrine at all. You can argue with me in the comments if you want to, but I'll never agree. I will die on this citrine hill, okay? The next common one that I see for citrine fakes is lemon quartz. And I was so triggered. I was on TikTok and I watched a video, and this new crystal business owner seemed like a very nice person. I never dox business people, so I won't comment her unless they ask for my help. And she was posting a sphere, and it was a lemon quartz sphere. And she was like, this is lemon quartz, but it goes by the trade name of citrine. And I was like, ma'am, no. No, no, no. Lemon quartz is not citrine. And actually, what is passing for lemon quartz nowadays is pretty wild. So lemon quartz it could be a couple options. It can be irradiated quartz. It's going to turn this yellow color, and it looks more neon like the Russian specimen if you look here. But this is not a color formation we're going to see, color patterning we're going to see in natural citrine. And if this was a Russian specimen, this color, it would be insanely expensive. Like that's just it's not common. Could also be dyed quartz being sold, and it could be lab created as well too. So keep in mind that this color is not normal. If it looks like pee, it's not for me, okay? That's my little code. If it looks like Mountain Dew, it's probably not natural citrine, okay? Again, I'll do a side by side for you here. I also want to show you this little cutie tower from Brazil, which is going to show you a little higher grade, but I want you to look at the color on this, okay? Does it look like Mountain Dew or neon yellow? Does not, but it does have a little neon tint to it, okay? These are also more rare, but again, you're not usually going to find this grade and this color in a large tower. These are micro towers. So when you look up the geological definition of citrine, you're going to see it's a yellow to orange quartz, and that's really deceptive. So when you see lemon quartz, you might be like, oh, that fits that description. But make no mistake, it is deceptive. What adds an extra layer to all of this, when we talk about the Gemological Institute of America and how they define citrine and color variations and what passes as natural is different than those of us in the crystal community and those collectors. So for the Gemological Institute of America, it can be considered natural citrine, whether it was heat treated or not. So it could still be called natural. That's not considered unnatural. Unnatural for them would be lab created or lab grown. So different definitions. In the crystal community, if I gave you a heated citrine and I said it's natural citrine, you are not going to like me. So different communities, different definitions. GIA has a set of standards they use here in the US. In the crystal mineral community, let's be real, it is the wild, wild west. Like we're all just making up our own standards based on our customer demands. I have set a customer base where my customers come to me for my authenticity. So I'm very transparent. Well, now you should hopefully know how to spot the fake citrine from the real citrine with this imagery. Please don't go like drag people on social media. You can refer them to my video, but just be kind, okay? Last time I did a video on citrine on TikTok, people went and dragged other people or were tagging them in my video, and I was like, just be nice about it, okay? A lot of people just don't know. And I think it's important when you're in this business to know, just like any other business. So if you are a crystal seller, I do videos like this all the time. Next, let's wrap up by talking about citrine's metaphysical and energetic properties and why I think it is one of the most fake crystals because of this. So citrine for a long time has been associated with abundance, manifestation, positivity. Key thing being abundance and money, okay? It has always, of the dawn of time, there have been talismans of some kind to help bring you more financial abundance. And citrine is considered one of those. And that is why I think it is faked the most. And that is why I think it is the most desirable, because the two things that I find people want energetically is love and money. So that is why I believe citrine is so faked. Now, if you are going to use citrine, some of my favorite things that I like to use it for, any solar plexus work, if you do any chakra work, this could be confidence boosting, motivation. If you kind of have like a negative workspace, I like citrine for that. If you're a small business owner, I like a nice bracelet, having it like I have my citrine tower right here whenever I'm doing work, recording videos. If you don't own a small business, I like it for that, but you can put it in your wallet, you can put it in your bra. All of us OG crystal energy workers know that trick. If you're into feng shui, citrine can be placed in the wealth corner of a home to attract more financial success. So whether you believe in the crystal energy of citrine or not, citrine's warm glow makes it a really popular crystal for collectors and spiritual practitioners. If you wanted to start working with citrine, definitely check out my videos. One of my favorite things to do with it is to actually make a crystal grid with a citrine tower, and then I'll just put 3 little quartz crystals around it. It's a nice, easy grid. Quartz is amplifying clear quartz specifically with the citrine. It's just nice. Make sure you give yourself an intention for that crystal. Always give the crystal a job. What are you trying to cultivate? Is a great way to get started with citrine. So now you know everything about citrine, from its geological origins to how to tell real from fake, how people use it energetically. I like to think that I'm telling you how to use crystals energetically to give you a way to use them, but not to tell you how to use them. I really believe in intention and that the magic in working with crystals is something that you have to put into it with what your goals are for your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below if you have any questions or even just a smiley face to let me know you watched. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Bella from That Crystal Show. Have a beautiful day.